I'm going to talk to you about how to craft the perfect resume. So recruiters tend to only spend about 6 to 8 seconds reviewing your resume, so it needs to be really good and to the point. And a lot of also recruiters say about 40% of recruiters they hire actually from your LinkedIn profile, but I'll do that maybe in another video. Today I'm just going to talk about your resume and how to quickly create like the perfect letter for that job. 63% of recruiters like to get resumes personalized to that job description. So you really need to work on this resume and actually cater for every single job that you apply for, unless obviously it's a similar kind of job role. So first off, I'm just going to use Google Docs. I find this is the easiest software because then you can access it from your phone or from your desktop and obviously download it as a PDF and apply for jobs on the go. So the first thing that I like to do is put your name and location and your contact number, and I also add your LinkedIn profile link. I really like things centered, so I do it like this, but I was just showing you a couple of different fonts. So you want to make the fonts it's really, really easy to read as well, because maybe people are reading from their phone, but it needs to be a very easy font. Unless you're kind of like more that artistic kind of route, then maybe you could experiment with the kind of font. So for example, something like this, although I kind of feel like this is child's handwriting. So I really do like to keep things kind of professional looking. Also, you could use a different color, but if you want to look up color theory, you want to kind of stick to those professional kind of colors. So I tend to either stick to black or blue is quite good as well, or even possibly green. But yeah, just Google color theory and you'll see what colors are associated with being professional. Let's just change this. I also like this kind of centered at the top of the page. That's my personal preference. But you can obviously kind of align it to the left. The next thing that I would do is this would be a summary of your skills that are related to your job. So this is my summary that I have on my CV. So you really, if you can quantify it, so for example, you have 5 years of experience, and I think numbers are really good, but you really want to draw on those key skills from the job. So if you look at a job description, for example, so if we go to a project manager type role, this we're just looking in Seek at the moment, and you want to look at that key skills. So see how they got agile project delivery. So that's a hybrid project methodologies. What they mean is agile or waterfall, and so you can go to tight deadlines. So you need to be able to manage a project to deadlines, for example. That would be a key skill, and be able to the written and verbal communication skills. So you want to play on these key kind of words that the job description is talking about. That's what you want to put in a summary. Think about it as summarizing your whole CV, so all the experience you have. The next thing I would do would be your key skills in bullet points. So for example, you want to go agile methodology as well as waterfall, good clear team communication skills. If they talk about any type of software, then you kind of need to list off the software that you're used to using. Jira, Teams, Asana, Trello, all that kind of stuff. Like this is where you put it here down in the bullet points. And also you could also put your niches that you've worked in. For example, maybe some companies ask for banking experience or they ask for retail experience. This is where you would put it in the bullet points. Then what you want to do is go on to your work experience. So this is your work experience. And what I would do for the work experience is I would put your job title, the company that you worked for, and the dates you worked there. And then you would do a, sorry, this is like not showing very well, the summary of what you did. So try not to create like a full essay, but you really need to kind of talk about your roles and responsibilities in that job. Again, try and cater it to the job that you're applying for. So you would list all that out. Again, you kind of don't need to go, I mean, if you're like me, I'm 40, you don't need to go back to jobs that you had when you were like 18. Just stick to, I would say, the last 10 years in my situation. And if you have any gaps in your kind of timeline. For example, I freelanced for a while, or I was between jobs, then in that kind of time, I actually always end up trying to upskill. So I do little short courses. So you can always go like, you freelance for a while or career break, because people want to know why there's gaps. But if you show that you're actually upskilling yourself in those gaps, it actually looks way better on your resume. So that is a tip. If you are between jobs, just start trying to upskill. You can actually go on LinkedIn. There's a lot of kind of reasonably priced courses. Even Microsoft has some courses that are really reasonably priced. You don't need to pay a lot. I mean, I looked at one the other day. I think it was like $8 for like a month, but obviously you can just cancel after a month. Anyway, so the next thing you want to go on to is your education. So list down all the different certificates you've done, and your degree that you've done, your core, like your school kind of qualifications that you've done. That's where you would put that. Personally, for me, my references, I stopped listing my references because depending on what job that I was going for, I would basically put a different reference down for that job, because I've got like a varied experience. So, for example, if I was going for a customer experience kind of type role, then I would probably put a different reference down. If I was going for like a project management role, I would put down people that I worked with on different kind of projects. But also, the reason why I don't like putting my references down there is I'd rather give my reference a heads up. Hey, I've applied for this job. I'm going to put you down as a reference. This is the job role, what it's about, and then it gives your reference kind of like a heads up what they're going to ask them, and obviously what kind of key skills you kind of want to be put forward for. And also just make sure obviously the contact details are still correct, and obviously that person is still happy being contacted, because sometimes when you have references you might have the company details, so their company email. I don't think it looks good if people contact your reference and then, oh, they've actually left that company. So I think it's better to just make sure your references are up to date. So I just put references on request. That's my personal preference. Again, if you kind of need any help kind of writing this out, you can actually always use ChatGPT to rewrite this for you. So here's a tip I'm going to have for you for your letters. So when you have a job description, for example, this one's not very long, but we'll use that as an example. So you can actually just copy and paste the job description and then ask ChatGPT. So the longer you use ChatGPT, it actually will learn more about you, and it can actually kind of create the letters with your key skills, especially if you copy and paste your CV into ChatGPT. So what you can say is write a cover letter for this job role, right? And it will write the letter for you. Now, you do not want to just copy and paste this straight into to send to a job description, because you need to personalize it for yourself. What you can use though with ChatGPT is use it to create the structure of your letter. So it kind of creates like a flow for you if you're not the best at writing. And especially if you're like job hunting, you generally have to get a lot of these out. It's kind of sometimes a bit of a numbers game. So I would just copy it, again, create a new Google Doc, copy and paste it. And obviously you want to just change all this stuff. So it would say Joe, but you want to now start going through it and personalize it for your experience. So I'm ready to express my interest in the senior project manager position with your blah, blah, blah. With over 5 years project management, yeah. So I mean, I've got over 5 years experience. So you see how it's actually learned from the prior prompt that I did. It's actually learned that I actually have 5 years experience in project management. So yeah, just go through. So in my previous roles, I have successfully led sports committees. Maybe you haven't done that. Maybe you helped facilitate. Maybe you are a project coordinator. So you just need to start changing this stuff exactly to your experience. So my experience extends to coaching teams to a higher level. Yeah, so I would take that out if that's not necessarily the case, but you need to put in what you did do. So I ran agile ceremonies and reported weekly on progress. Okay, that's very basic language, but you get the idea. You really just need to personalize this for yourself and add in anything else that you kind of, I would still really check what they're putting here, because for example, sometimes what I found is it doesn't add in actually things about the value about the company. So to take it a step further, what I would do is, so actually, unfortunately, I see this is actually for a recruitment company. But if we go to another job, for example, this is what I would do to even personalize it even more. Look these up and look at About Us and understand exactly what they do. And maybe they'll have more information here, so about their kind of values as a company. So when you're hiring, so you can actually put this into your cover letter. You've really researched that company, so you kind of align with them. They've got a wellness program. So you could say, I align with the core values from Lockhart Energy of helping helping individuals with their work and personal life balance, flexible working options, and providing a wellness program to your staff. You can obviously add in things like that, which obviously makes it more personalized, right? Which obviously ChatGPT won't be able to do, but obviously you could do yourself. Once you've done your letter, I tend to like to put it kind of in the middle of the page like this, so you can see it's kind of more centered. But also this is quite a long letter personally, I feel, so I would really cut this down. So I mean, if you just take out some stuff, so I would keep it probably about, yeah, 4 to 5 paragraphs. Then once you're ready, you can just export this. So you do File, Download, and download it as a PDF. That means if people are looking on their mobile or desktop, it won't change the format and make the spacing look really funny. So I'd always download it as a PDF and then attach it to your application. I really hope you found this useful. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up or drop any of your questions in the comments below. And my next video, I think my next video I'm going to do about where to find remote work. So where I have been personally looking to find remote jobs, and also checking what salary they have when they don't have it listed. So yeah, check out that next video and see you soon.